All right, all right. We are live. Happy Monday, beautiful people. Happy Easter long weekend. I hope you've had the most wonderful time and the Easter Bunny came for you, because let me tell you, the Easter Bunny missed out on Costa Rica, like chocolateless on Easter Sunday. Probably my first one ever. So if you're here, I'm just going to find you in the group. Let me know that you're here. Say hello. Let me know where you're coming in from. I love to see your faces. I love to see what's going on for you guys. Hearing all your news, it really lights me up. So go ahead and let me know that you're here, and we will get this show on the road. Right. Okay, let's do this thing. So this month is all about content that connects. It's about how do you bring content to your audience in a way that really lights them up and lights you up. And that's really, I think, the key thing that separates you guys from the rest of the pack. It's not just a pick and mix scenario. It's about crafting content that really talks about your reader and the values that connect you together. And this is what this is all about. So I'd love to check in. First of all, if you're here, let me know, have you been following us for a little while? Is this your first live for a little while? What is it that you're looking for in your content creation? How can we be of service to you? Right, so go ahead and pop that in the feed so I can respond. Hello, lovely Sarah. Sketchy internet. It happens to the best of us, right? All right, all right. So let's just have a little think about this thing for a moment. See, here's the thing. We're in this age of connection. People are connecting to who we are, what we do, who we do it with, why we do it, all the layers within this. And so when we're deciding who to work with and we're deciding who to connect with, we need to bring into, I'm just going to close off my WhatsApp because it's pinging all over the place and that's going to drive me bananas. We need to find the people who believe what we believe. I think that's the most important thing, right? The place around how do we do business with people who believe what we believe? Because people have a lot of choices out there in the world, right? You know that the world is noisy. You know there's a lot going on. And so why would someone pick you over someone else? Because, sunshine, there are lots of people who do what we do. There's a billion people in the world who do what I do. There's a billion people in the world who do what you do. And so it will always come down to the old school jargon is that no like trust factor, but it will always come down to, do people believe you? Are they invested in what you are invested in? And do they want to do business with you? And so that comes from bringing forward your values in a way that really connects, because people do business with people, not necessarily concepts, right? So what does that look like for us in our businesses these days, right? There's a lot of things going on. Let me just pull up my notes so I don't get lost. And when we start to share things from a value base as opposed to just a concept base, it becomes easier for us to be able to bring forward the information that we want to bring forward, right? So who else is here today? So let's start with the simplest part, right? The values are the what behind your messaging, and they can be crafted into tactics. Once you see and know what they are, the tactics then become the how and the when of your values. Yeah, connection is so important, Sarah. You're right. Sorry. Often we don't see our own greatness in the work that we're doing, right? We don't see the value that we bring forward for other people because there's so much in our work. And so when we start to share from a place of overflow and when we start to share the value proposition in a deeper way, it becomes easier for people to connect with us and the work that we do. I'm just going to move so I can create space for someone else in the space. Give me 2 seconds as I go for a walk. Epic. It's all right, it's fine. Okay, so cool. Yeah, and this is the whole piece about content that connects, right? It's about how do we craft content in a way that it really aligns with the people who are looking for us. I think it's super important in today's market and in today's field to be able to find the space, not winning, to be able to find the space, to be able to work effectively. Hang on, let's see if I can turn on the light with my foot. Made it. Multi-talented, right? So let's take a moment to think about what this looks like. I have a values exercise that I'm going to share with you guys today. It looks like a lot, but it's really about doing business with people who believe what we believe, right? Because when you do business with people who believe what we believe, who think what we think, who feel what we feel, and who feel aligned to your message, it's easier to generate a commitment. And that commitment could just be a follow. It doesn't have to be a sale. It doesn't have to be, a call to action. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It's just, hey, that's my human. I see who you are. I love the work that you do, and I want to know more about you. And that comes when you're coming from a place of authenticity. It's not cookie cutter content creation. It comes from a place where we're able to bring forward the things that we really believe in a way that allows other people to connect with us, right? Who else is here today? Come and say hello. I know, right? I'm in the group today as opposed to in the page. We're switching it up a little bit. So if you haven't already noticed, one of the things that we've been looking at this past month is one, creating that value-based business within the Hope Challenge. So the Hope Challenge last month was always about giving. It's about serving from a place of overflow. It was about allowing us to see the abundance that exists in our world by giving to more people, as opposed to always wanting things to come in for us. When we come from that place of overflow, so much can come through to us. Hello, beautiful Anthea. Congratulations on your new launch. I'm so delighted for you. And we have the most extraordinary human beings in this group, which is just inspirational that I get to connect with all of you guys. And so for those of you who perhaps watched or participated in your own way in the Hope Challenge, when we start to think about being of service, and it's not just being of service as in I've got to do these things for people, but when we come from a place of overflow, when we're helping more people, when we're connecting with more people, when we're reaching out with more people and we're helping people, it allows us to recognize the abundance that comes within. And so when we're looking for more work and we're looking for leads or sales or, different sort of outcome in our business, that comes from a place of lack, right? So when we come from a place of overflow and when we serve from that space of giving, because you already have an abundance of knowledge and awareness and ways that you can help people that you don't even recognize. And this was the feedback I heard from people last month. It's like, I do this anyway. Yes, and that's the problem, right? Because we do this anyway and we don't acknowledge how much we're of service, and you don't acknowledge the greatness that you are in being able to give to other people from that place of service. And so when you take a moment to realize the abundance that exists around you because you're in service from a place of overflow, that creates a space, that universal law, to come back to you. Right. And that's not about cookie cutter marketing. That's not, I help this person to help that person so that. It's not about following any particular framework, blueprint, template, hack. It's actually about you being in your truest form of service and allowing people to see that. And so for those of you who watched this particular challenge that we had last month and didn't participate, I'd ask you to really have a look at that. Why didn't you reach out to more people? Because that may not necessarily be anything about the business that you're in, and more about where you're sitting emotionally in that space. Business is just building relationships and helping people, right? If you're helping more people, you can grow a business. And so that's all this is, right? And so when you are reaching out from that place of authenticity and connection, and you show people your truth and your heart, it allows them to see you who you are, the greatness that you don't even know you have. It's the secret of content that connects. The secret of content that connects is not about clever copywriting or my team giving you nice images. The secret is actually for people to see you in your truth and authenticity. And you don't even know what that is half the time, right? You don't even see the value that you bring. I don't see the value that I bring. But this time is about that. And so if you didn't participate in the Help One Person a Day challenge, that's okay. I feel like I failed you because I didn't hold you to account or whatever that thing is. So I was saying to the social startup group, our private coaching group, I feel like I failed. Like I had this big mission to help people help more people. and I didn't hit my target. I didn't inspire you to want to help more people. Such is life, right? But in this space, as we go to craft content that connects and we go to want to reach out with more people, this is all about people seeing you and the value that you bring. 90% of the time, you don't know your greatness. You don't know how other people see you. And so the challenge was not about how do I see myself, but allowing yourself to be seen, because you literally cannot build your marketing, you cannot build your groups, you cannot build your business, you cannot get more leads, you cannot do more things unless you've got someone who's got their eyes on you. That's what this is about, right? Okay, so rant moment over. Let's have a look at what this looks like for you guys. The question I often ask people, and so this is your first task, right, is what is the feeling that you leave people with when people connect with you and work with you? So for, say, Anthea, who else is on the call? For Sarah, when people work with you, how do they feel after they've been engaged with you? How do they feel after the work that you've done? I know with Anthea, she's so connected and gentle and genuine, and Anthea's such a warm, generous soul. You can't help but feel embraced by her sweetness when you're with her, right? Thanks, Sarah. I like a bit of validation too, so that's okay. So, but this is who Anthea is, right? So when I say this is who Anthea is, and she's strong and she's powerful and she's empowered and she's extraordinarily bright, but she's nurturing and feminine and all of those things, the next question is, does your marketing match that feeling? Right? And it's not about looking at Anthea's marketing, but we totally can, because I can tell you her marketing does match that feeling, right? Good morning, Debbie. Lovely to see you. And then if your marketing doesn't match that feeling, why not, right? So take some time to think about your clients, the people that you work with, and how do they feel after they've had a connection with you? How do they feel after they've had a session with you, or they've worked with you, or what is the feeling that you leave them with? Write that down. And if you're feeling brave, not even brave, pop it in the chat so we can see it. It's lovely to see you guys here too. Yeah, pop it in the chat. How do people feel after they've worked with you? And if your product hasn't launched yet, that's okay, right? How do you're speaking to people about your programs, you're speaking to people about your business ideas, you're speaking to people about your products. How do they feel when you're engaging with them and you're in flow, right? And then the second question is, does your marketing reflect the feeling, right? So for me, my values, the way that people feel after they're connected, they feel seen, heard. They feel connected, right? They feel supported. So does my marketing match that feeling? That's what I want it to be. So do I need to have like the most polished version of that? No, what I really want is for people to feel the same feeling when they see everything that we do online. Now, Debbie, I reckon the question I have for you, if you're not sure, what if you did know, right? What if you did know that feeling? Yeah, so good, right? So that's the first thing. Calm, connected, true to themselves, aligned. Perfect. So when you think about that and you go to your marketing, whether that's your social media posts, your lead magnets, your content, your website, what does that feel like? Does it feel calm, connected, true to people, and aligned? And if it does, that's great, right? But if it doesn't, then why not? And that's the third question. If it doesn't feel like working with you feels, then why not? You see, we only have a very short window to build trust. If you meet me in the street, this is literally what I look like. In my activewear, quite often in baggy pants, 90% of the time in those shoes, right? There's no surprises. The me that you see online is no different to the me that shows up here or the me that will hug you, yes, during COVID, when I meet you, right? That's exactly who I am. And so that needs to be the same for you and your business. Don't put the best version of yourself out there if that's not the version that people will meet. It breaks the trust. It's not okay, right? So let's consider that for a moment. Sorry, new co-working space, just finding my flow. I only got here like an hour or so ago, so I'm just navigating some of the spaces. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an exercise. This is something that we created in our Content That Connects course, right? It's a lot, right? But the idea is, you know how you get those memes and you want to find the first few words? I'm going to give you this values exercise. And what you want to do is you're going to want to find the top 5 values that resonate with you. I'll take a copy of this and I'll pop it in the group for those who want to catch up later, right? We're not going to spend a lot of time. Let me just find the right space. I'll share my screen and we'll get that done, right? Share. Please excuse my screen. It's crazy. All right, so having a look at all of this, it's a lot. But when you look at all these words, these are all different values. Sometimes we get stuck, you know, love, peace, joy, learning, and that's great. So I want you to have a look at this sheet. And again, I'll drop it into the group after this call. And what you're looking for is, if you're feeling open to it, the top 10 values, right? Your top 10 values. And when you have 10, you're going to halve it and get your top 5. When you have your top 5, you're going to halve it and get your top 3. And then I want you to put them in order, right? So from here, start to have a look. What are the values that jump out at you? There's a lot of really beautiful insights into this page. Sarah says, yes, I thought of all these things when I designed my logo and branding. Maybe you need to be more consistent with the general posting branding. Well, the consistency is in the language, right? So your logo is one layer. And so when we talk about branding, which is actually my favorite subject at the moment, the brand is not the logo or the color, right? The brand is actually how someone feels when they're looking at the logo. And the brand is not the design. The brand is, that's the visual brand, but the brand is actually you, how you're showing up in your authenticity. So you have the visual story, you have the written story, and then you have the experiential story. And all 3 of them should work together. That's really the essence of brand architecture. So here you go. You've got the list of values. Pick 10. You're going to cut them in half. Pick 5. You're going to cut it in half and pick 3 and list them in order. And they will be your top 10 values. From there, think about those values. So if your values is, come on, there's one here. Making a difference. Making a difference is actually one of my values. If the value is making a difference, then the tactic, how to bring that life with your general posting, would be how to share about making a difference. So if the value is making a difference, how do you bring that to life? What are the tactics that showcase how you make a difference? Hello, Tanya, beautiful soul. It's lovely to see you here. So this is how we bring the values to life. It's like, yes, these are our values. This is the what, and the how is the tactics and how we deliver. If your value is playfulness, then the tactic is how do you bring playfulness to life in your content? If the value is connection, how do you bring connection to life in the work that you're doing? And how do you share that in a way that allows people to see and identify with that value and build that connection with you in the work that you're doing? So I would love for you guys to take some time with this values exercise and just list what your values are. Pop them in the feed so I can have a little look and I can give you some thoughts, feedbacks, give you all the high fives. They're your values. There's no right or wrong, right? But there'll be other people who have the same values. And that's really what this is about. We want to do business who believe what we believe. We want to do business with people who think what we think, who feel what we feel. When you have a customer or a prospect who believes what you believe and who thinks what you think and who feels what you feel, you're a long way in the right direction of getting a customer. And that's not cookie cutter jargon marketing blueprint crap. That's you being of the highest service to people in a way that feels totally congruent for you, so it can call out the person who is looking for you. I'm so darn grateful to have you guys here with me today. Sunday here, Costa Rica. Monday for most of you guys in Australia and New Zealand. Let me know how you go. Let me know if you have any questions about the value exercise. I can't wait to see what you've got going on. Next week, we're going to talk, I can't remember what it is. I think we're going to talk about how to bring it to life in your captions, right? So once you have your values this week, next week, we'll talk about how do we bring that to life in writing our captions and our copy. You totally got this. I'm so delighted to have you here, and I can't wait to see what you create this week. Have the best week.